Hello and welcome to the latest edition of Turbo Delphi Demos. I'm Nick Hodges, the Delphi Product Manager, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some further data structures used in the Delphi language, specifically a data structure called records. Once again, I'm going to create a nice console application for us to use to demonstrate how records are constructed and used. So first up, we'll declare a record. Now records are collections of different types of data brought together into a single data type, single data structure. Very often you're going to want to collect up information together into a single entity rather than having specific pieces of information scattered about any particular entity. So, practically speaking, you might want to declare a record of type person. Now, records are declared as such. You give the record a name, and you say it is equal to a record, and every record has to have an end statement. And within the record, you can declare individual fields of any type that you wish. A common field for a T-person object might be a last name, a first name, and an age, for instance. Now that you've declared a type of T-person, you can declare a variable of type T-person. Once you've done that, then you can assign values to the fields of the record. I personally am not sure how old Fred Flintstone is, but I'm guessing he's got a couple of young kids, or at least one. So let's put him in at 32. Now just a couple of things to notice on what we just did there. First of all, you notice we declared a record of type T person called person, and that actually allocates in memory for you, the compiler will do it actually, memory to hold the information about the actual record itself. So we don't need to create or allocate any memory or anything like that for the person. Records are statically allocated, and thus we can simply assign directly to the variable. Now the advantage of records is that they are an encapsulation or grouping of information. Well, we haven't gone over functions and procedures yet, but I'm going to declare a very simple function here called create full name. And if you didn't have records, you might have to do something like pass in a bunch of parameters like last name of type string and first name. Can't type today. First name type string, and then that would return a value of type string. I'm going to hide these a little bit to give us a little more room for our code. And then you would declare the function like this, and you would say result, which is what gets sent back from the function, gets a first name plus a space plus a last name. Now that's actually a very I'll put a in there. That's actually a very simple function. It only takes 2 parameters. But you can imagine there might be times when a record might hold multiple pieces of information, including, say, for a person, it might hold their address, a social security number, place of birth, all kinds of information like that. And you might, at certain times, want to perform functions on that information. You wouldn't want to have to pass all of the individual pieces of information into this function as parameters. So instead, we can pass in a person, which is of type T person, and then we can simply grab this here, drag it down here, and we can then have a much simpler function that simply passes in all the information about the person, a T person, into the function, and then we can operate on that inside of the function. So records are very valuable for sort of wrapping up and making it easy to pass around chunks of data about specific types and specific pieces of information about those types. So that's a quick look at Delphi record types. Again, a record is just a collection of different types of types all wrapped up into a single entity or type, a record. And the reason we do that is to make it easier to consolidate all that information into a single entity. There's more to it than that, but for right now, that's a good quick look at the basics of records. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Turbo Delphi Demos.